All right, so in downtown Oroville, California, it is like October, I don't know, 8th, 9th, 2020. So I've been painting, finishing up a lot of these paintings that I had in storage from my 20s. And then I fixed these up, which is a new series. It's more, but not really here to talk about that. So this is comic book blog stuff. I'm here to review this comic book, and it's actually a graphic novel, but it is something that I picked up unknowingly. I always like the oversized graphic novels, especially ones that you find in serious bookstores. Hold on a second. And so sometimes, because you'll find like really cool ones, and that's, that are from far away, just like this one. I guess this one's from Argentina. I think one of the artist guys from Argentina, Riso. Not sure how to pronounce his name. I just looked this up because I actually read the book for the first time like a week ago, and I picked it up like a few years ago. I'm not sure how many years. It's been a while since I've been to the comic book store, and I was surprised that it was as good as it was, and interesting, and it was a pretty. I'm not sure about the writing. It was all right. I'll talk about it when I get through it. But yeah, so that's kind of what I want to talk about, and this thing is kind of about art forms as well. So the comic book art form, I've been working on my own comics, which has been cool because I got to create whatever story I want. So I've actually been working on multiple ones. I found like 10 pages from a scarcity, Tales of Scarcity storyline that I started off, and so I decided to finish a black and white book, just a normal 32-pager, comic book size format, and I finished up a series of my own called Fiction, which is a black and white, pretty serious, abstract-ish stories, kind of abstract, dreamlike. So I'm finishing up the fifth book, and so I'll go through those, just to talk about the art form later. But for now, I'm just going through these comic books and graphic novels that I have now, and I want to go through the black and white ones first, just to kind of just talk about art. So let's go through this one. So Kane, Riso, Saf Comics. So you got some guns. So it's not a superhero story. It's more of a ghetto story. So there's some cops right there with numbers on their heads. And this is actually pretty normal for South America, I guess. I don't know. Never been there. So Ricardo Arriero and Eduardo Riso Kane Strip Art and Features 2003. Strip Art Features 2003. All rights reserved. Editorial office, Sav Comics. Then it has their numbers. First edition, May 20, 2003. Printing in Slovenia. Okay, so I'm not sure where that is. But the artist is Argentinian, and from the names, they both sound South American or at least Latino. So what we got here is a 9-panel page, and the guy's a really good artist. Like, I was, the thing that I wanted to say first and foremost was that the art, it looks like it was made for color, because it's the pages right here, it's like a lot of black and white, but as you go on, there's a lot of line work without any like let's go farther. It's just a lot of detail. Unless you zoom in on each panel, you don't see what's going on. It's too jumbled. So without color, it's hard to differentiate the background from the foreground, and that's the issue with the art in black and white in this line format, is that you can't just look at the page, and it kind of hurts the eyes. Everything's competing with each other because it's black and white, and the blacks are so heavy and the whites are so line oriented. There's not a variety of thickness in the line, so your eyes don't lead into where you're supposed to go. So so the issue with that is that it's actually when you put color into this beautiful art, you'll be able to like see that there's two cars there real quick, and that crowbar thing is a whole different panel, as opposed to like, is it part of the same panel right there? And it'll kind of lead the eye from, because what's cool about art and the comic book form is you can see right here is this is happening between these two panels, so you're able to, I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, but it's like this piece of art is between these two panels, which takes up the normal amount of space, but they just added like an extra action between these panels, and it kind of just like, if it was colored, it would actually lead you would see his blonde hair, so you would automatically separate the time, and see, like right here, you can't tell the difference between his hair and what's going on. And it's not his fault, but some artists would like use cross hatching or gray tones to separate, so that the reader will be able to have a easier experience and not have to work so hard for each panel to read what's going on in each panel. And so I think this artist really made this for color. It should be in color, and I'm not sure why they put it out black and white. For the most part, they say it was serialized from, which means that it came out in pieces, which I don't really see the breaks, but it says it came out in pieces, and like early in his career. I guess he did this other book called 100 Bullets, which he got at an Eisner, which is like an Emmy or an Oscar in the movies. And so the guy is pretty famous, and I guess he does Argentinian. I guess he does a comic convention in Argentina for I guess it's like the main convention in South America, which is pretty heavy deal, you know, because considering like a lot of artists actually work from our South America. A lot of famous artists for DC and Marvel and whatnot. And so it's really pretty intense that and 100 Bullets, I heard of it before, I just never read it. But it's definitely like it's more like a detective book, or, you know, like a gritty, hard-boiled crimes book. So I kind of read this synopsis of that because I was like, who is this artist? You know, like, he has a lot of clout. And so I read through some of his books or whatever, and he was pretty good. And I mean, from what I see in this book, he's really accomplished already. And if he did this in the 90s, I kind of want to see what he did in the 2000s. So you know, I'm gonna actually check out the book. So let's check it out. Let's go through this book again still. Okay. So the guy's good, like clean, very clean art. I mean, he considered, he got the Eisners for 100 Bullets. So see this panel, it's pretty tough to read, like what's going on, unless you like break it down. But it's a good panel. See, the smoke is actually competing with everything else because it's wiggling around everywhere, and so you're looking at that, trying to see. So black and white is pretty tough. When you do black and white, it's actually very you got to be aware. If it's meant for black and white, you got to be aware of where the eye is being led and where it enters. So now we're flying over the outskirts of the city. So the story itself is actually really interesting, cool story. The character, his style of drawing humans is actually really cool. That's one of the main characters. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go through the whole book or this whole storyline, but it's a really good story. The artwork, I was really just wanted to talk about the art, so I think I talked enough about the art as far as style. So the storytelling itself is good. He's good. Like, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you could tell this guy's a intense story, disciplined storyteller, because he actually is working on his pages. He puts a lot of work in each page. He's not trying to cheat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, and there's a writer, so he's having to interpret what the writer is telling him to put into the story. And so you can see the established shot, a lot of establishing shots. These are almost like all long shots, a couple of close-ups. Right here starts close-ups. So in a movie, if you interpreted this into a movie, it would be a long intro, and then it would be dynamic into these characters. You get a shot of them driving, and then it goes back into some other stuff going on around them, and then it goes back to the main characters, and then it goes back into the world. So it's really just setting up the main character that's in that box right there. And turns out to be a baby, or a couple babies. One of them is dead, which is kind of messed up. The guy just kicks the baby to the gutter or whatever, flies on their head and everything. And then there's the other kid that they end up taking to raise, a Nirvana baby. So this guy, you can see his influence is definitely very rocker, punk, South American, Argentinian, Brazilian, even Mexican, like city life. And then you got the military stuff going on right there. And so the guy's really good. Like, I mean, look at those pages. Beautiful. Like, there's variety. The panel structure sometimes is good to have variety, sometimes it's not, but you know, like I said, if it was colored, it would be 100% beautiful. So his placements of panels is really cool. It looks beautiful. Like, he's playing around with a lot of blacks and whites. That's a good variety of blacks and whites. Then, you know, playing with the camera, moving the camera around. And there's so much detail that it's like, wow, you know. Like, from here, you can't tell that's a train. From here, you have to, like, is that a bus? Is it a train? What is that? There's just a lot of detail. But if it wasn't, the foreground would the colors of the front of the train or whatever that is, box, would break up and show, like, this guy wouldn't be as important as these guys if this was colored and they just like did like a overcolor, and then they made the lighting over here more important, because you can even see like the shadows meant for some lighting going on, some dubious lighting of these guys talking, selling kids. And then so this kid ends up growing up to be a little thug and stealing car stereos, gets busted by the cops. So now he's institutionalized. So this is in the future. They got like RoboCop, Matrix, Blade Runner lighting going on. So yeah, there's some swords people, judges. They got a futuristic judge robot thing. And this guy, yeah, the guy's good. You know? I mean, I need to see his work from the 100 Bullets. I want to see his work in color, see how the full experience of his work. But this story is really good. It was tough to like. Took a lot of effort to get into it because of the non-color. But some art is made for color, some art isn't. No matter what, his art is beautiful. Like, it's just so detailed. In the camera, it actually looks like perfect because I'm focusing only on one piece. So yeah, so the kid ends up in the infirmary, or no, not the infirmary, in the cafeteria. So he ends up having to fight these dudes. They're taking his food, slapping him around. Thugs are running the show at the dude with the funny hairdo. And then I don't know what they're doing. What are they doing? they're gonna electrocute him or something. What are they doing? They're hurting him somehow. I think they're electrocuting him. Oh, because he got in a fight or something. So there's MTV. Is that? Oh no, NTV. So there's the news, and what is this? There's some newscasters talking to these people. So it's very stylized. It's very retro, very hip and cartoony, but yet like serious. So something started burning. The cops are helping out. Bomb maybe. So they're doing the television stuff. Cigarettes right there. What else is going on? Cops and more cops. What else? TV, people watching TV. And then the kids, they're having a riot, the kids getting out. And having a moment, so he has to go kill somebody with the knife. And something. Oh, they beat him up. Who beat him up? Somebody beat him up. Oh, he stabbed the cop. You little shit. No. The cruel row, irony of fate. They even named the cop. So his brain's on the wall. They're watching it. They're selling him to this government project. But his brain's too far gone anyway, so they end up like, okay, let's dump this guy. Dump the body again. So he ends up in the same place again, and then there's some bed frame, and then the lightning comes and wakes the kid up. And so we return to the first old bronze bed that was lying next to the place where second, the periodic electric storm of Santa Rosa. A bolt of lightning soldered the defective circuit and activated the psychotronic semi-brain. And so Cain returned to the world of the living. He's alive. Alright, so he's bald and alive. And he kills a rat to eat. Dog. Kills a dog. Oh no, he doesn't. Beats a dog up though. Eats rabbits. So yeah, I'm not gonna go through the whole book, but let's go through some of this later stuff because it actually gets pretty intense. So there's a lot of story. There's some nudity going on. It's pretty ghetto. Not ghetto, but talks about the underworld a lot. The guy ends up joining the underworld. And they talk about the rich and famous, and then they talk about the street life. Turns out the story is actually about him being part of this rich family that ends up he got cloned or something, or there's 3 of them, the government experiment, and I guess there was 3 of them, and there's his girlfriend. He ends up somebody hires a girl to hook up with him, and then he ends up with her, and then so she ends up helping him get back into this Paris Hilton kind of place, and so he ends up looks like he parachuted. So this whole famous rich people on TV ends up being his family. So he ends up having to go figure it out. And so I don't know who that is. So he goes through the gang, and some dead people. A lot of dead people. And then I don't know what's he doing, parachuting again. So then the chick goes, "Yo, you're awesome," and she has the Latino punk rock hairdo. Oh, so we missed it. So the whole mom thing, there's a weird mom he has this crazy mom. Where is it? So she set it all up. I think and the dad was going to clone himself because he was super rich. There it is. So this young girl marries this super old guy for the money, but the guy wants to live forever, so he wants to figure out how to get his mind into another body. So he wants the girl lady to get pregnant or something like that. So she has triplets or something, and she connives it that there's only one girl, and because the guy has to be a girl to want to be so the guy has to be a girl to be reborn into the body, and she knew that he was egotistical, that he wouldn't want to be born into a woman, but he might. So she ends up killing him anyway or something like that. But she had a boy or something, some other kid that she wanted to make sure he was the baby to inherit everything. And so she gets rid of the twins, which is one of them died. That's where Cain came in. And the girl is still in. Oh, it was a blind girl. So they digitally or genetically modified the woman to be blind and a woman, because she wanted to make sure that this guy wouldn't go for it. I guess there's a doctor with the plan. So there's a blind girl. So she's finding out for the first time. She's trying to get up on Cain. Up here. Where is it? So when he breaks in, where is it? Oh, there it is. So these guys are. So there he is breaking in. And there she is blind. So I guess she's a drug addict too. So he slaps it out of her hand. And he's like, let me help you not die. What's going on? Don't you like me? Everybody says I'm beautiful. So she doesn't know that that's her brother. He does know. And then there's the older brother, step brother or something, and that's the one that they want to inherit everything. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. So there she is. So I guess she likes dudes. What's the problem? So this guy's a ghetto kid. It's like, what's going on? What is he doing? He has no right to be here taking advantage of a hello mom. So there's a stepbrother. You can see I survived my brother. But what's going on? So the storytelling's good. And this guy's good. Like, these are all very character oriented. So the backgrounds ain't competing with stuff so much. It can't be. But it is mom. The prodigal son has returned to the fold. So now everything's ruined. And she's like, what does she say? Can't read that. Will someone tell me what the hell is going on here? I guess it's a water gun or something. Damn you, don't talk about my mother like that. Wait, dear, before he dies, he has to have the right to know the truth. After all, he is family. Some bottle pickers saved me from the garbage. My brother wasn't so lucky. So you were the strong one. You probably have more blood of my blood than your father's. I'm just a son of a bitch. Whoa. When I got married for the second time, I was 35. Adrian was 12 and your father was 83. As you can imagine, it wasn't love. Alright, so she goes through the story right there. That's where things get crazy. This is actually the cool part. This is where, it's kind of interesting. This is, everything just is character building. But it leads to this part where, and then, so what about my blindness, Mom? Maybe it has to do with this. So, for sure. So she tells a story and she's like, I've been blind for this whole time. So she wants to kill the mom. And then the brother, I guess, doesn't like that. Guy's my little sister, son of a bee. So, all this stuff, he gets shot in the head, I guess. Dies again, I don't know. So that makes another comeback. So yeah, so a lot of stuff. His buddies find him again. You don't look too good. Pretty cool. I haven't read this part actually, so yeah, that's a book. In the high-tech world of the near future, powerful emotions still reign. Best serialized in 2001, Best Inker 2002, Best Artist continuing 2002, 100 Bullets, which draws for DC Comics Vertigo. So, pretty good book. So yeah, so that's Kane. I thought it was worthy of showing and talking about it. And art, guy's a great artist. I really got to look at the 100 Bullets story. It looks interesting. About like Killers for Hire or something. But yeah, so I'm making my own books, which is actually pretty cool because, you know, thinking about all this stuff too. So thinking about all these government experiments and superheroes and whatnot. So yeah, so that's kind of everything at this moment. I won't be here for too much longer, but I'll keep making these videos, and we'll see what happens next.